Hello, beautiful people. Today is 1st of May. My name is Sahil, and welcome to Newspaper Analysis. Friends, she is Irene Khan, who was the Secretary General of Amnesty International, which is an international NGO renowned for the protection of human rights. Guys, Irene Khan says no cause can justify the abuse of human rights. Friends, this particular statement becomes very much relevant as world over pandemic of COVID-19 is going on, and in the name of controlling the epidemic, governments have taken so much of powers that often they go against the regard of human rights also. And guys, one more thing, whenever you are talking about human rights, always remember the philosophy of humanism, according to which the human beings are the center of this universe, and any activity which is above the human welfare is unwarranted, unethical, and immoral. So, guys, all these arguments could be used if a question on human rights and human ethics comes into the GS paper number 4. Moreover, these things can also be used into the social issues in GS paper number 1. So, guys, let's start with today's analysis. Guys, this is the page number 1 of the Hindu newspaper. Here, the first news item, you can see that the recovery rate has increased to 25%. Guys, will not be seeing this data because every coming day such data will be changing and therefore will not be relevant for your UPSC exam. Now, coming on to the side article, something about core sector has been discussed. So, we'll discuss this article. Now, friends, this news says that the core sector growth or core sector output has declined by 6.5%. Now, what this entire thing is? Before understanding the core sector, we will understand the IIP, that is Index of Industrial Production. Now, friends, this Index of Industrial Production is just an indicative number. It gives us idea about India's industrial growth. Guys, IIP major looks three areas. These areas are manufacturing, mining, and electricity. Okay, guys, so these are the major three areas. So when I talk about manufacturing, it looks that okay, what is the growth going into the manufacturing of iron, manufacturing of steel. When I talk about mining, it says sees that what is growth going on into the coal sector. Likewise, all these things. Now, friends, there is a core sector within the IIP. Core sector is nothing but it is group of 8 such industries which contribute maximum weight into the IIP. Guys, only these 8 industry contributes nearly 40% of weight of the IIP. So these 8 sectors are petroleum, refinery, electricity, steel, coal, crude oil, natural gas, cement, and fertilizer. Guys, I have written them into the decreasing weight. The maximum among these 8 is of the petroleum and refinery, after that electricity, and likewise. So guys, as they are contributing nearly 40% of weight of the IIP, if there will be growth into these sectors, then we can say that the entire industrial sector will be going towards a boom. And if there will be a decline into this core sector, we can see that India's entire industrial sector is going towards a decline. Now let's see the news once again. Core sector output has been declined by 6.5%, means that the output of this sector has been declined. And guys, there is only one sector which has seen some growth, that is the coal sector. Apart from that, all the sector are going towards a decline. Why? Because there is a lockdown, because economic activities are not going, and as there will be no economic activity, industrial consumption will also go down. Moreover, friends, the article also says that even certain sectors were exempted. For example, iron and steel sector was not shut down. Electricity was still going on, but still the decline has been seen. However, some more important information is that now, friends, the base year for IIP is 2011 and 12. We always need a base. In GDP, there is a base. In inflation, there is a base. So, here there is also a base. Now, suppose you want to measure your weight. So, you will fix a baseline from with whom you are comparing. For example, your weight on 1st January was suppose 70 kg. Now, you will be measuring the weight to this 70 kg figure. So, what was the industrial production in 2011 and 12? On the basis of that, we see whether we are going up or whether we are going down. If there is an improvement of 6%, it means 6% more than 2011 and 12. Now, guys, who publishes it? This is published by the CSO, that is Central Statistics Office, which is under the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. Guys, please remember this thing. Already question has been asked onto this in prelims. Now we'll move to the next. Now, friends, here is a news on page number 4, which says that the governor's rule will be imposed in Bodoland territorial area districts. Now, if we talk about this particular article, it is talking about the equation between the BJP and their coalition partners. However, it is not important for us, but by this we will see the concept of a Bodoland territorial area district. Now, guys, scheduled tribes, they have their distinct culture due to which they are needed to be given autonomy with respect to their own governance. Now, scheduled tribes have been given some separate setup of governance under the 5th schedule of Indian Constitution and 6th schedule. Guys, 5th schedule deals with the tribal areas into the entire country except 4 states, and the 6th schedule deals only those 4 states. These 4 states are Meghalaya, Assam, Tripura, and Mizoram. So, guys, as we are talking about Assam, Assam will be covered under 6th schedule because it is provided here. Now, guys, these provisions as what can be done are provided into the constitution as well as under 6th schedule. But who will actually be doing these things? Now, guys, with respect to the 6th schedule, governor has a power that it can declare certain districts as autonomous districts, and they will govern themselves according to their traditions. Now, friends, Bodoland Territorial Area District is one such region where autonomous districts have been made. Who made them? Governor made them. Now, friends, let's go a little bit into the background. First of all, Bodos are the plains tribe into the state of Assam. Plains means that they are living into the plains. Which plains? Plains around the river Brahmaputra. So, guys, there are 4 districts under which they are concentrated. These districts are the Udalgiri, Baksa, Kokrajhar, and Chirang. So here they are living. Now, friends, from long the Bodos wanted that they should be given autonomy. And finally, in 2003, an accord and agreement was signed which provided that Bodoland Territorial Area District should be made into these 4 districts, and it will be under the control of Bodoland Territorial Committee. So, guys, these are the 2 things. Now, friends, earlier I had told you that the governor has been given a special responsibility with respect to these regions. Therefore, governor is the constitutional head here. Now, what has happened? There are regular elections into these districts, autonomous districts, and in this month of April, elections were to be conducted here. But due to the lockdown of COVID 19, the elections were not convened, and as a result, for the time being, governor's rule has been imposed here, and governor will be performing duties with respect to this entire region. Now, guys, the people, the tribal there are unhappy because of this thing, and they are saying that their autonomy has been taken back. However, this is a kind of a temporary arrangement. However, friends, just keep this thing into your mind that it is different from the president rule that is imposed under article number 356. So, guys, this was all about this particular news. Now we'll move to the next. Now, guys, into the editorial section, the first editorial talks about the need of giving religious freedoms in India. Now, friends, recently, US Commission on International Religious Freedom had categorized India as a country of particular concern. Now, this is a very bad categorization, and on the basis of this particular thing, certain sanctions can also be imposed on India, which will not be good for the economic fronts. However, that will be seen when it will be coming. But on the diplomatic concerns, this classification of India is very disturbing. And in this particular respect, the response of India as usual. Guys, what happens whenever a report favors the India, praises the India, India embraces that particular news. But whenever the report criticizes India, India rejects and condemns that particular news. You can take example the of ease of doing business, which is released by the World Bank. Now, ease of doing business praises India as a performer. Therefore, that particular report is accepted, and even government uses it in its own data. But categorization of India as a country for particular concern has been rejected. But, friends, on the other hand, this thing is also true that USA has often used the pretexts such as freedom, democracy, secularism, etc., to pursue its strategic interest. Whenever a country is not endorsing USA's policy, it uses these arguments and imposes sanctions. Has happened in the case of Iran, has happened into the case of Iraq. But it is the pattern, as always USA does this thing, is not clear. So there is a possibility that there could be certain substance also in categorizing India as the country of particular concern. Now, in this particular respect, USA has used a report from UN special rapporteurs. Guys, a rapporteur is a person who is appointed by any organization to report on some particular matter. So, USA is saying that on the basis of this particular report, we have classified India here. And what are the reasons? Reasons number one is the National Register of Citizens, where it has been said that India has discriminated. Moreover, apart from that, the Citizenship Amendment Act of India has also been questioned of being discriminatory. Now, friends, this thing has far more implications for India because, first of all, India has explicitly mentioned itself as a secularistic country into the preamble of our constitution. And if these kind of things are coming, then they go against the spirit of secularism. Moreover, under Article number 25, right to practice religion has also been given by the constitution. And again, these things are problematic at this particular front. Now, the event in last 1 year are very much problematic because India has always been a land where the philosophy of Sarva Dharma Sampan has been propagated. Moreover, India always aspires to be a soft power, that is, we want to win over the world by our customs, traditions, habits, heritage, and in that particular thing, the philosophy of secularism always gave India an advantage. But if such kind of patterns will continue, then India will be losing on the soft power front. And guys, right now it is very much needed because India's track record in the diplomatic success has not been that much good. Moreover, on the economic respects also, due to the COVID-19, the much success will not be coming in the next few years. So only hope is the soft power, and therefore a caution is needed to be used. So guys, this was all about this. Now we'll move to the next article. Friends, this particular editorial discusses about the intellectual property rights and how they should be relaxed right now in order to meet the pandemic of COVID-19. First of all, certain basic things. Guys, if I use my brain, and by using my brain, by using my intellect, I come out with an idea and use this particular idea to make an object. Now, this particular object is a result of my intellect. It is a result of my brain. So therefore I will have a right that only I can make this particular object, and right to make this only particular object is called as intellectual property right, that this is a property which is coming out of my intellect. So therefore I have particular right on how I will commercialize this particular object. Guys, intellectual property rights are very much needed in order to promote the innovation. Otherwise, people will not be having any incentive to innovate. Now, friends, copyright, trademark, all are a particular dimension of intellectual property right only. Now, guys, you might have also come across through patent. Now, patent is basically a way of making a particular thing. For example, I invented a pen. Now, how a pen will be made, what are the elements, what will be the recipe behind this thing, that particular blueprint is called as patent. So, friends, basically, patent is a type of a intellectual property right. Friends, for physical objects such as medicines, car, boat, ships, patent are given. For creativity, for literary ideas, songs, books, novels, copyright is given. If I make a particular logo, particular design, for example, I find a particular way of writing Coca Cola, then on this particular thing I will be given a trademark. So different are the things which are given as a part of intellectual property right. Now, after understanding all these things, we will come to a present context. Now, what should be the treatment of IPR and the patents during a pandemic such as COVID 19? Now, guys, it is a very clear fact that if any relief is needed, we need the medicine, therapy, drugs, or other medical innovations. Now, first of all, the innovations will come, then innovations will be given clearances, then after it will go into the manufacturing process, after that it will go to the supply chain, and then finally it will reach to the customer. Guys, one thing is that, moreover, even if innovations will be made, then on that innovation, a patent will be taken up. Now, friends, this thing is very clear. We had seen that if patent will be given, then a kind of an exclusivity will be gained by a particular manufacturer, and in that particular exclusivity, it will become very difficult to make the drug or the medication available to all the people, especially the poorer ones. Therefore, in order to answer the crisis, we need a kind of a disruptive solution, because the situation is disruptive. In this thing, it is being said for a particular time, these patents should be kept aside so that the benefit of drugs can reach to everyone. Now, guys, a treaty which deals with these patents is the TRIPS, which is under the WTO regime. Guys, TRIPS stands for Trade Related Aspects of Intellectual Property Rights. Now, these TRIPS give the protection to patents, but under the same treaty, there are certain windows by which patent could be avoided. For example, compulsory licensing. Now, under the compulsory licensing, if there is a shortfall of some life saving drug, then a particular country can allow its indigenous drug manufacturer that they can make that particular drug even when there is a. Now, this particular thing can be required, but guys, you need to understand there could be two repercussions. Number one, the innovations will not come because they are not being rewarded if compulsory licensing has been given. Secondly, if it is not given, then the problem is that the society will not be getting the benefit of the drugs, and the society will start to condemn the innovators as well as patents. So, therefore, any way you give, there will be certain consequences. Therefore, we need a kind of an innovative solution so that society can get the benefit, and at the same time innovators also don't feel cheated. So one innovative solution can be making a patent pool. Now, friends, what is a patent pool? There could be a central repository where all the patents are placed. Now, anyone can pay a royalty fees, and in exchange of that fees can use the patent and can manufacture that particular product. Now, this thing is meeting two objectives. First of all, as a fees is being generated, that fees could be given to the respective patent holder, and then that patent holder will not feel angry and will be keep on innovating. And at the same time, as the patent will be available to large number of manufacturers, they can use the patent and can make the drugs available readily. Therefore, such kind of patent pools should be made for COVID 19, where the COVID linked solutions can be put together and could be utilized by the manufacturers. However, in this particular respect, the efforts are being taken by various states, but these efforts are fragmented. What we need, that one globally pooled system is needed so that all the countries can come together, and there they can pool their respective patents, and at the same time all the manufacturers of the world can mass produce these items. Now, friends, with respect to the governance of such pool, any trustworthy international organization could be given the custody so that the fair distribution of royalties at the minimal levels could be taken care of. And in this direction, the most important thing which is needed is the will. For a time being, the profits are needed to be kept aside and the collective welfare is needed to be thought. Guys, when we are talking about such kind of pool, then it is permitted under the TRIPS. Under, guys, TRIPS, there is Doha Declaration on Public Health, which allows such kind of mechanism to take place. So therefore, there will not be any violation of treaty also. Therefore, guys, in this direction, such kind of things are needed. So, guys, this was all about this. Now we'll move to the next article. Now, friends, here's a news on page number 9 where the GI tag has been given to two items, and these two items are the black rice, which are also called as chak hao. This black rice is planted into the Manipur, and after that there are the terracotta figurines. Guys, terracotta is the baked clay which we call as paki hui mitti. Guys, you might have seen pot into your households, so those pots are, they are made by a clay, then they are baked, so that is a terracotta. So here you can see the terracotta figurines. Now these terracotta figures are famously made in Gorakhpur into the state of Uttar Pradesh. So guys, black rice from Manipur, which are also called as chakhao, and terracotta figures from the Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh. Now, friends, if we talk about the rice that is chakhao, then it is a scented rice. It has gluten element into that and has a very special kind of aroma, due to which it is very famous. And guys, it is also made as a kheer, which is called as chakhao kheer. Moreover, it also has the medicinal qualities. Therefore, it is also used as a part of a traditional medicine by the practitioners. Now, one very peculiar thing about this kind of rice is that it takes the longest cooking time, approximately 40 to 45 minutes. Why? Because there is a fibrous bran layer on it, due to which the cooking time increases. And guys, the planting system is also very unique, and there is the traditional system of chak how cultivation which is practiced. In this system, the pre-soaked seeds, guys, we will be soaking them, and then they are transplanted directly into the paddy fields. Now, secondly, if we talk about the terracotta figurines of Gorakhpur, they are made specifically of various animals, such as there could be the hoda elephants, then there is Mahavatdar horse, deer, camel, five-faced Ganesha, single-faced Ganesha, elephant table, chandeliers. So all these are the things. So guys, please remember this thing, very important for your prelims. Friends, many a times I have already told you that the GI tags are given under the GI Act 1999. GI tag gives a kind of a distinct identity to a particular product, and because of that thing, the marketability of that product increases and the makers can get a better price. Now, friends, here is a small news onto the page number 10. Guys, what is happening? There are large variety of medications which are being used onto the COVID patients, but still the efficacy of the medicines have not been tested. And one example is the hydroxychloroquine along with the antibiotic that is azithromycin. Now, the issue is that when the clinical trial has not been conducted, how these medicines could be used. Moreover, guys, according to the American Health Association, it has been said that if these drugs are used onto the patients who have some cardiac history, if they have some heart disease, then these drugs can increase the heartbeat phenomenally, due to which there could be a fear of cardiac arrest. So, what actually is happening? There is no evidence, but rather on some permutation and combination, the drugs are being used. So, therefore, in this direction, a local NGO made a representation, may filed a petition into the Supreme Court asking that such kind of phenomena should be stopped. However, in this direction, the Supreme Court has directed that the appeal should be made to the ICMR, that because it is the expert body into the medical research, because the Supreme Court is not a expert body on that particular thing. Now, please remember that this is also one side of vertical with respect to the treatments of COVID-19 that is coming. For example, plasma therapy is coming. For example, all these drugs are coming. The issue is that they are already being used, but there is no clinical trial with respect to things. So, guys, it involves a very important ethical consideration, that can human be used as a scapegoat to experiment all these things, yes or no? Yes, there could be a yes also, because as we need an urgent response, there is no other possible way. But no also, because you can never use human being as a means to achieve some other objective. So please think on that thing. Now, friends, here's a news item on page number 11, where the National Mission for Clean Ganga has forwarded a request to ICMR that they should check whether the Ganga water can heal the COVID 19 or not. Now, first of all, there is not a superstition behind this thing, but a particular reason as why such a study is being conducted. We will see only that particular thing for our prelims, not more, not less, because otherwise it will become a question of some mythology or some other thing. Now, friends, it is being suggested that into the upper reaches of Ganga, where the water is clean, a particular kind of virus is found, and this virus is called as bacteriophage. Now, these viruses have a specific quality that they can trigger the bacteria and can kill certain bacteria. Now, in the article, it has been suggested that it can destroy bacteria such as Mycobacterium, Streptococcus, and Pseudomonas yersinia. However, it is not clear whether they will have any impact on the virus or not. Guys, it is being said that there is no evidence that viruses can even in principle be used to destroy other viruses. However, the studies are being made that the coronavirus is a specific kind of virus, that is SARS-CoV-2, and has a particular strain. Now, we need to identify that can we use this virus to target this particular strain as it can do into some other kind of bacteria. But the possibility is very weak. Guys, please remember the bacteriophage, the virus, it can attack the bacteria, all these concepts, because a question has already been asked that whether the viruses can attack the bacteria or not. So guys, only this thing, don't go much deeper into that because it is in very initial stages. So, guys, this was all about today's important news. Now we'll be winding up here. I hope you are liking the discussion. Thank you so much.